At ease. I am soul. Eureka! Which means I have found it. Right? So I had the opportunity last night to go see the Kanye West documentary, Genius, right? And I know many of you might not have heard of it because I only heard of it about 48 hours before I went to go see it yesterday, right? And what it is, it's a Netflix special about Kanye West where they've been documenting his story since, several years ago. And they had a sneak preview of the first portion of it yesterday in the movie theaters, right? It was one day only. It was most movie theaters showed one show only. And I ain't gonna lie, man, as soon as I heard about it, I said, I have to go see it, right? And it wasn't because, I'm a Kanye West fan, as far as like his music. I love the brother's music, right? But, he has some bangers, but it wasn't because of that. The reason I said I have to go is because, I'm infatuated with how this brother's mind works, right? I'm infatuated with the nuts and bolts of what's going on inside this brother's head, right? And I'm telling you, brother, I understand now why Kanye is a genius.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you on based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
One of the first of three reasons why I think Kanye is a genius, right, is because this brother has definitely mastered mind over matter, right? He's mastered mind over matter. And when I say that, I mean, when a person has, when a person has the ability to set their intentions, to create their vision, to create their prayer, to move in it, and regardless of what they see on this third dimensional plane, they can stay in that frequency, which is what creates your world, right? The brother has mastered that. The brother set his intentions earlier in life, in his teenage years, and said, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I am. This is what my life is going to be. And he moved accordingly, regardless of what this world showed him, right? Me and my partner were just talking about this yesterday, man. We were texting back and forth and just talking about like the barriers of why, our lives won't fully, develop into what we want them to be. And it's simply mind over matter. It's simply a person's ability to become a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like once you become a thing, once you start moving, talking, and acting and walking like that being you desire to be, brother, there is nothing on this earth that can stop that world from forming. You know what I'm saying? Mind over matter, becoming is everything. And I'm telling you, that brother has mastered that. He has mastered that. I tell my son this all the time, man. Like my son is obsessed with football, man. He loves some of the majors too. He wants to either play for like an Oregon or an Alabama or, one of these big dogs, right? And I tell him now, he's still a freshman in high school. I'm telling him now, I said, dude, I said, you can't live your life looking at that as a future goal or something you want to be. I said, you have to move, walk, and talk like a D1 player right now. Because that's what's going to create your world, man. And it applies to all of us. It applies to all of us, man. It's easy to set our intentions. It's easy to write goals on paper. It's easy to make vision boards. It's easy to meditate and try to create a thing. Where the rubber hits the road is when you come out of that meditation, can you step into that and regardless of what you see, can you stay in that energy? Brother, it takes a genius, man, to be in that mindset, to master that, brother. And I'm telling you, Brother Ye has mastered that, right? He has mastered that. The second thing that makes Kanye a genius is he stayed true to himself. He stayed true to himself. And I'm telling you, this seems so minor, but it's actually major, especially in today's time, right? First off, you got to think about this brother was born and raised in Chicago, right? And the majority of people that come out of that area, that's in the industry, in the music industry, it's all about drill music. It's all about, taking lives. It's all about selling, selling substances, right? It's very few brothers that come out of that area, minus Common, that beat to their own drum. This brother has always stayed true to himself, and he spoke on that, right? He was like, you know what? Yeah, I had the opportunity to do, X, Y, Z. Like, I grew up on these certain streets where these things were taking place. But again, he was like, I know who I am. Like if I'm going to be the top producer, I can't move like that. If I'm going to be one of the top entertainers in the world, I can't move like that. So he always stayed true to who he was, man. And you see that today, especially like on social media. Especially like when it comes to, I'll say, content creators. Like, it's easy for a person to be passionate about a thing and say to themselves, well, just because, what I'm talking about, it isn't popping right now. Let me go ahead and talk about X, Y, Z, because I know that's what people really like, right? In other words, if you're into action figures and video games, you like, oh man, well, it ain't a lot of people, in my demographic that like video games or that like, action figures. If that's your thing, then stay in that lane, regardless of what this world is doing. Don't jump off and start talking about, how to get a woman in bed in 36 hours. That's not your thing. That's not where your heart is, man. And one thing I admire about Kanye, he's always stayed true to who he was. Even when you listen to his raps, man, he's rapping, even going back, he's rapping about stuff that's kind of just like, what is he talking about? Jesus walks and all this kind of stuff. He just stayed true to it. Even when he progressed up in his life, man, when he's dealing with different record labels, it was hard for this brother's style to fit in with some of these people. He's dealing with brothers, man, that have been in the streets. He's dealing with brothers that have been in, certain portions of life. He just stayed true to who he was, man. He was like, this is who I am. Like, I'm not coming out of this. And I'm telling you, man, that's one of the secrets, man. Like stay true to yourself. Like what you're talking about may not be popping at a time, but it's just the season, man. Your time is coming. And this brother was patient, if nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I see people jump all the time. I see people that are interested in the thing, and just because it is not popping, or I see sisters that are really a certain kind of way, and just because they don't think, guys are checking for sisters like that, they'll switch it up and be something that they're really not. When really, if you're playing the long game in life, you know what I'm saying? If you're a content creator and you want to be able to create content till the day you die, brother, I'm telling you, stick to what it is you love. Stick to what it is you could talk to forever. Because if you're jumping on every single trend, if you're jumping on, I'm an alpha today, tomorrow I'm this, and next week is this, and next year is this, brother, it's going to be hard, almost impossible to sustain that. So I'm telling you, man, one thing that brother did that was genius was stay true to himself. Because what else that does is it lets people that follow you know that, hey, you know what? This is who he is. I know that next season he's going to be this. I know that next year he's going to be this. I know that in 20 years, if I want to tune in to this brother, this is what he's going to be talking about. Maybe on an evolved level. So staying true to yourself, man, that is part of being genius, right? And the last one I'll say, man, the thing that I feel that made this brother, that makes this brother a genius is his persistence. His persistence / consistency, right? Now, this brother, from the very beginning, man, he submerged himself in an industry, and he pretty much didn't come out. He pretty much didn't come up for air until he made it. You know what I'm saying? In other words, he could have been out smoking and drinking and partying and clubbing and chasing women and all these things. But this brother kept his nose and continue to keep his nose on the grind until he hits his goal. And I'm telling you, man, this is going to be by far one of the things that keeps us from stepping into our greatness as men, right? Distractions, man. At some point, and I'm speaking to myself, at some point, brothers, we're going to have to, make our greatness a priority. And I'm not even talking about greatness priority and then women and then whatever else. It's gonna have to be greatness as priority, and then everything else. You're gonna have to have no cushion in between that, man. Greatness has to be our priority if that's what we want to achieve. And I'm telling you, man, this brother had the ability, or has the ability, to put his goals, to put his destination as a priority, and block every single thing out. You know, this brother has the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to eat, I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to be in the studio. That's a discipline, man, that very few people can do. You know, there's a lot of people that want to be in certain industries, fitness, and it's like, if you aren't willing to spend X amount of time in the gym and not at the club, you know, I'm telling you, brother, it's going to take sacrifice. And I ain't gonna lie, man. These are just three of the things that I see that made this brother genius, that put him where he is now. Because you gotta understand, and why I say I'm infatuated with this brother's mind is because, I mean, yeah, he's had success over the years. He's grown up, right? But over the last 3 or 4 years, this brother has catapulted. He's catapulted, and it's easy to get on the gram and pull up a Kanye clip and see where he is now. And see, you know, he can talk about the things and he's moving a certain way. I'm like, okay, I see that now, but I want to get down to the beginnings. I want to see the root cause of this stuff, man. And I'm telling you, man, if you see how that brother has moved over his life, you can easily see why this brother is in position, man. In the position he's in. I ain't gonna lie, I'm eager for it to come out on Netflix, man, and see the remaining portions of the documentary, brothers. It was definitely inspiring. You know, it also just kind of gave me a peek into that world, that music industry. You know, on how it moves and how competitive it is. I remember I was in the theater last night, man, and I'm texting my boy Lone Star Music. I'm like, bro, like, I understand this stuff you be talking about now. Like, I understand, like, this world is complex, man. Good documentary, man. Let me know, for y'all that saw it, man, let me know what y'all thought about it, man, and what other aspects y'all think that Kanye has that makes him a genius. I'm eager to know.
Use of marijuana.